All right, let's dive into one of the most important, if not the most important, first steps when you're setting up a new reef tank. We're talking about building its biological engine. It's a process we call cycling, and getting this right from the start is absolutely crucial.
So, picture this. You've just set up your beautiful new aquarium. The water is crystal clear, the rockwork looks amazing, and the temptation to start adding those colorful fish is just huge. But giving into that temptation leads to the single biggest and most common mistake new hobbyists make. Any ideas what it is? Yup, that's it right there. You add fish, corals, or really any living thing before the tank has had a chance to grow its own invisible, microscopic life support system. That perfectly clean-looking water, it's basically a trap. It looks safe, but it's not ready yet.
And that brings us to our first big topic. We really need to get our heads around what cycling actually is, because the danger we're talking about in a new tank, well, it's completely invisible.
Okay, so at its heart, cycling is a pretty straightforward idea. What you're doing is intentionally growing huge colonies of good bacteria. Their only job is to find all the toxic waste that's going to build up in your tank and turn it into something way, way safer. Seriously, think of it like you're building a tiny, living water treatment plant right inside your aquarium. To really get this, let's meet the main characters in this little drama. First up, we have our primary villain, ammonia. This stuff is super toxic to fish and corals. It comes from things you'd expect, like fish waste or leftover food. And in a brand new tank, it has nowhere to go. It just starts to build up to dangerous levels. Now, as the first team of good bacteria starts to grow and eat that ammonia, they produce something else. And here's where it gets tricky. They produce our second villain, nitrite. And guess what? Nitrite is also extremely toxic. So for a little while, we've basically just swapped one poison for another, but then a second, different type of beneficial bacteria shows up to the party. Their job is to eat that toxic nitrite, and what they produce is our end goal, nitrate. Now, nitrate isn't totally harmless, but it's so much less toxic that it's not even in the same league. Seeing it means your biological engine, your nitrogen cycle, is finally working. Okay, so we've met the villains and the heroes, but how does this all play out over time? Let's take a look at what a healthy, successful cycle actually looks like when you graph it out, because this is exactly how you're going to track your own tank's progress. This timeline tells the whole story. See, around week 1, after you've added an ammonia source, you'll see that ammonia levels spike way up. Then, as we move into weeks 2 and 3, the first bacteria colony kicks in. You'll see the ammonia start to drop, but right as it does, you'll see the nitrite level begin to rise. And then, the grand finale. Around week 4 or so, the second bacteria colony takes hold. Both ammonia and nitrite plummet down to 0, and for the first time, you'll see that nitrate level appear. That's the exact sequence of events you're looking for. Okay, so that's the science. It's pretty cool, right? But how do you actually, do it? Let's get practical and break down the playbook, your step-by-step plan for a perfect cycle. It really comes down to these 5 steps. 1, get the habitat ready. All your gear, your salt water, your rock, the whole shebang. 2, add an ammonia source. This starts what we call a fishless cycle, which feeds the bacteria without harming any animals. 3, and you absolutely cannot skip this, test and track your water every couple of days. 4, watch for those milestones we just talked about, ammonia and nitrite hitting 0. And 5, do one final stability check to make sure your new bacterial colony can handle a load. It's a clear, repeatable process that just works. I really want to double-click on step 3 for a second, because testing is without a doubt your single most important tool in this whole process. Think of your test kits as the dashboard for your tank's invisible engine. You wouldn't drive a car without a dashboard, right? This really says it all. You can't see ammonia, you can't see nitrite. The water can look perfectly clear while being incredibly toxic. So, as the source material points out, guessing is pretty much the fastest way to disaster. Without testing, you are flying completely blind. So, what exactly are you testing for? It's our 3 key players. You need good, reliable test kits for ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. Tracking these 3 numbers is what tells you the full story of exactly where you are in the cycling process. So, you've followed all the steps. You've been testing, you've been patient, and things are looking good. Let's talk about what that finish line looks like, and more importantly, what happens next. This right here is the moment you've been waiting for. How do you know for sure that you're done? It's simple. The cycle is officially complete when your test kits show that both ammonia and nitrite are consistently reading at or near 0. That's it. Your biological engine is officially up and running. But your job isn't quite over. Now it's about maintaining that beautiful balance you've created. You want to add your new fish and coral slowly to give your bacteria time to catch up with the new workload. Keep testing your water regularly. And whatever you do, don't clean your filter media or rocks too aggressively. That's where all your good bacteria live. Just avoid those common mistakes on the right, and you are going to be in fantastic shape for the long haul.
So, after a few weeks of patience, testing, and watching this invisible process unfold, you've finally done it. You haven't just filled a glass box with water and rock. No, you have cultivated a living, breathing, balanced ecosystem. Your biological engine is humming along perfectly. So the only real question left is, what amazing world are you going to build with it?